This is the prompt of a man that just liked me on Hinge. If you don't already know me, I'm 30. I've never had a boyfriend. I grew up overweight. I lost weight. I gained weight. And I just talk about how all of that correlates with like my dating struggles. I am genuinely curious if you are curvier, bigger, and a guy likes you and that is his prompt. Are you swiping left or are you swiping right? Because I feel like for me, my initial reaction is to swipe left. But I kind of wanted to bring the conversation on here and just hear what all of you guys think about it. Obviously, when you are a curvier, bigger girl, like dating can be scary. Like you want someone who is going to be like 100% attracted to you. Like that sounds so crazy that you would like X out on this person. I want someone to be attracted to me, but I don't want that to be the sole reason that they are attracted to me. Then again, I like get in my head and I'm like, is this me having like internalized fat phobia? Because everyone has their preferences, you know, some girls like tall guys, some guys like short girls, you know, people like blondes, people like brunettes. Sometimes like with this, I feel like there's a weird line that it teeters over. I had a guy recently say to me that he wants to feed me McDonald's. And I'm not shaming anyone. Like if everyone's into what they're into, but like that's not for me. Sometimes dating as a bigger girl, I struggle with this. Like, are you genuinely attracted to me or are you just like into this like one part of me? Sometimes as a bigger girl, I feel like we're made to think like, oh, like they're attracted to you. You should be happy about that and like give them a chance. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to bring it up and see what you guys all think about that. If you've been in the situation, how you feel about it. And yeah. All right. As always, I love you guys. Bye.
Ho, ho, ho! Fiction can be fun.
All right, ladies, let me start off by addressing the thing that this queen said that a lot of you have got in your head. Well, just because most men are not attracted to big girls, that does not mean fat phobia. I mean, ladies, if fat phobia had a definition, it would mean the fear of fat. And I don't think that men are just terrified of fat. They just say, hey, you know what? I'm not into it. Do you see me saying that she has a salad phobia? No. Getting more into it, ladies, even as a big girl, you will get more attention than men. You are dating at an easier setting than men. It may be a little bit harder than thin, attractive women, but it's still an easier setting than men. I mean, heck, she said that a guy was offering to feed her McDonald's, i.e. he wanted to take her grazing, obviously. And when she says she wants men that are genuinely attracted to her, okay, I get it there. You don't want to be seen as some kind of a big girl fetish. You want guys to like you for more than just that. All right, ladies, here's where I'm going to say that you're more wrong than you're right. Let me explain why. Let's say the guy who approaches you has a thing for big girls and you're like, oh, I don't want to be somebody's fetish. Just because he has a fetish in it doesn't mean he doesn't like you as a person. He could turn out to be a good fit for you. I mean, for all of you that keep complaining about the difficulties of dating as a big girl, you have no idea how easy you have it. Okay, let me come at this from a different angle. If most men like thin, attractive women, they're going to go for thin, attractive women because that's the first factor, physical attraction. That's what gets your foot in the door to get the conversation going to see if that can develop into a relationship. Now, use that same mentality. The guy who approached me has a fetish for big girl. He just likes more cushion for the pushing. Okay, consider that your beauty standard to get the foot in the door to see if it develops into a relationship. See, men don't get that. Women who are into men who are triple X plus size are not in the majority, okay? It's clear that most women want a guy who's tall and fit even if she herself isn't fit or has a bunch of other genetically gifted factors. Most men don't have these qualities. The average guy is not 6 feet tall. The average guy is not built like The Rock. The average guy isn't a walking supermodel. So if you factor that in, ladies, even if you're tipping the scales at 230 plus, you still have it easier than the average guy. Stop complaining about it and accept it. Just think it over while you're scarfing down a half dozen donuts. I promise you that eventually my logic is going to come around to you. Before we move on, I want to bring to attention that 75% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. Come on, fam. You've seen my logo on other channels and you're already here. Please hit that subscribe button and support the channel. It really helps out. Moving on.
So I'm sitting in LA traffic and I just wanted to come on here and tell you guys about the special talent I have. A lot of people think I'm really talentless and I just, you know, use that one site where you sell fans. But I'm actually super talented. So I can burp on command. What's your special talent? Are you not impressed? I mean, I think it's pretty impressive.
Oh wow, why don't she take that act on the road? She can burp on command. She is super talented. On top of that, she has a OnlyFans account. Yep, it's pretty obvious that men are totally the problem here. This gem of a queen who's worth her weight in pork rinds and is obviously a great catch. Listen, ladies, you gotta pick a struggle. I mean, if you don't have the best body out there, then have something else. Don't try to substitute an hourglass figure with some kind of burping. I mean, what else is she gonna do? Juggle her boogers or something? Don't get me wrong, I'm not body shaming anyone right now. I actually do enjoy seeing women getting good relationships out there. But ladies, you gotta put in the work. I mean, this is a classic example of a young lady who's decided not to put in any work. I mean, she obviously doesn't put any work in the gym. It appears that she hasn't developed an actual skill, other than her selling pics and videos of moving her folds around her OnlyFans account, where there's an epidemic of simps there, ready to shell out $3.99 to see if they can find a mole in a spot she can't see herself. And I honestly believe that there aren't that many men wanting to put a ring on that. Well, maybe a collar and about a gallon of barbecue sauce, but who am I to kink shame anybody? I'm just a blockheaded gorilla. The point is, ladies, expectation management is warranted, and burping shouldn't be even part of the equation. Move it on!
Something that I don't think people understand about being fat is like the ways in which this shows up in dating. Because I get a lot of comments here from like, you know, incel, dude, bro, gym, basement dwelling, whatever. You know the type, trolls. And they're always like, well, no one would ever have sex with you. No one would ever date you. And that's not quite true. It's more like you're just very aware that your options are limited, or that the ways in which you get approached are limited, or that like the things that are available to you more readily are limited. And I've been in a relationship for 4 years, but I still experience a lot of this because you can just feel that like you are not seen as valuable in the dating space. I know people say marketplace and that feels dehumanizing, but like to a point it's true. Like more than anything, what it is an awareness that like your stock is low, and that a lot of women have a power in having higher stock, I guess, that they can use to, you know, get things for free or get men to do things for them. Like I am aware of that even as somebody who is in a relationship. I am not looking for love. I have love. I am not necessarily looking for any of those other things either. I'm just aware that they're not available to me, and that is one way in which my body does limit me. And I think when you're a smaller fat person, you may be even more aware of this because it seems weird when your size does not exclude you from a lot of other things in life, that it would still exclude you from this. Like, if you can do all these things, like you can fit in airplane seats, you can travel, you can go on amusement park rides and have fun that way. Like, if you are not big enough that your size isn't preventing you from doing a lot of things, it can certainly be something that feels like a sticking place. And that has very much been my experience as a small fat person for my whole life.
Maybe we better take off.
Yeah, right.
Okay, let me start off by addressing the elephant in the room. No pun intended. Small, fat person. I was trying to figure out if she was talking about a short, fat person or a person who's just overweight but not to the level of being morbidly obese. I'm going to go with the second definition because as she said that you can still do some activities. Yes, sweetheart, that's called overweight. It's not called small fat. I'm pretty sure that people who are overweight are conscious of their weight. They know that there are limitations. They can still feel comfortable in an airplane seat, but they're not in shape to go hiking uphill for 10 miles just to take a selfie at the top of a mountain. Yeah, they're very clear on that one. So setting that aside, for now, let's go to the other thing that she said, which is the key thing here. She said, as a big girl, you have lower stock or low stock in dating. Exactly. It's not that it's hard to date as a woman. It's just you have slimmer pickings. No pun intended. Let me put it this way. You have the options that an average man has. You can't get a relationship with the super hot people. But even then, you still have it easier than men. Let me explain why. Even an overweight woman can land a Chad/Tyrone on a slow Tuesday in her bed. Average guy has a far lower chance of catching a baddie on a slow Tuesday in his bed. I mean, the difference in percentage chances is humongous. Again, no pun intended. But there's a reality here, sister. You see, when big girls like you come out and make these videos trying to explain to the world, oh boo-hoo, your worries, it really falls on deaf ears for several key reasons. The first key reason is you can control your weight. A guy can control his height. That's factory set default. That's built in. When he comes out the womb, it's like, oh man, you're 5'9" for life. You're stuck there. You, honey, I mean, cut the calorie intake in half and start exercising more. I promise you, the pounds will start to come off. And if you do go up in weight a little bit, more than likely that means that that's muscle that you put on. That thing that's attached to your bones, hidden beneath the fatty deposits. Trust me, it's there somewhere. You really can't complain. But let's hear what else she has to say.
And I have realized as I've gotten older that like I actually have so much privilege in that this is the main way that it has showed up. And the weird thing is, being fat doesn't preclude you from finding love or a relationship or getting married. It doesn't preclude you from having good sex or like exploring. But you are still probably materially going to get approached less than your thin friends. You are still going to have the awareness that there are a lot of people out there who won't date you or won't date you openly because of your size. You are still going to witness conversations where people talk about how dating somebody who looks like you or going on a date with someone who looks like you is their worst fear, and they find it personally insulting. And that's just a lot for the ego to take, no matter how much other privilege you have or how many aspects of it you do still have access to. There is like such an ego wound in me from like years of this that being in a relationship, no matter how happy and successful, like does not take that away. The older I get, the more I realize these differences are kind of subtle and that they are like not necessarily that impactful on your material reality and like day-to-day life and happiness, but it's an ego wound and it hurts and it feels like, and then you're still subject to all the treatment that single people get in the world of like, why can't you find someone? And like, they're out there, just keep looking. And it feels so hopeless because you're told over and over again, and your life experiences very possibly support that you are not a desirable person to be with. But think about it this way. None of this would be a big deal if we didn't think about conventional attractiveness and desirability as being so central to a person's value that like women literally measure their value off of that, and feeling like you don't have the thing that's like the number one source of value and power for women. It feels terrible. I do think in the grand scheme of things, it's not as big a deal as other forms of discrimination, but it feels so uniquely terrible because you feel like you're also failing at your gender.
It's an ego wound. Sister, let me help you out here. You know how you can fix this ego wound? I mean, how you're really gonna get over the plus size ego hurt? Go on a diet. Lose weight. This isn't something that was thrown on top of you, honey. This is something that you did to yourself. Take control of it. Hold on to your weight control with both hands. No pun intended on that one either. What I'm saying is you can change this. This is within your area of control. So you keep saying, oh, going out and it's in my face and I see it with my friends, and you have to be aware that you're gonna have less options. Lose the folds. Tighten that skin up. And I promise you, your options will increase. It will go up. There's no ego fixing needed. It'll be like Wolverine's healing factor. And honey, using your own words, your life experiences do not support your plus size experiences. I mean, yeah, if you scoff down a 3-layer cake and buy like half the candy store, that's gonna push a lot of weight into your personal experiences. No pun intended again. The point is, this is all in your control. And I started going on this tirade of like, oh, none of this would be a big deal if attractiveness wasn't central. Listen, stop it, okay? I mean, you could put a ton of shaming language, no pun intended, on society. It's not going to change society. You can't shame the men that you're attracted to be attracted to you. You can shame the beta soy boys to be attracted to you, but I don't think those are the guys you want. Why don't you accept that this is not a problem for society to solve? This is a personal problem that you have to solve with a Stairmaster and a gym membership. And allow me to clue you in on something. When you say that you feel terrible and that you're feeling yourself as a gender because of that attraction factor thing, well, let me put it this way. No frickin' ship, lady! One of the most valuable assets that women have given to them by Mother Nature is their physical beauty, their ability to attract a superior mate, or I should say, attract a multitude of mates and have a bigger variety of mates to choose from. You're upset because your lack of food and exercise discipline has limited your options. Stop trying to blame society. Stop trying to shame people into it. And live with the weight of your choices. No pun intended.
Squeeze me? Oh, no, you did.
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund. Or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.